just gonna give everyone the last few minutes before 8 o'clock to arrive. And once everyone starts pouring in, we can get started on tonight's topic, which is gonna be a relaxed one since we had a big fun game night last week. We figured that you could use a little bit of a chilled out stream today. So it's 2 minutes to 8 right now. We'll just see who shows up in the next couple of minutes. So it'll be a little quiet for a second while people are arriving, and then we'll go back to it. Alright, I see that everything's up and running on Twitch and Facebook now, so I don't see anyone in the Twitch chat just yet, so we'll give everyone a few more minutes. And don't mind Kara if she's a little bit quiet for the first couple minutes of the stream. She's just making sure that everything's working well, and then she'll be as noisy as ever.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, let us know if you guys are enjoying this new format. We used to do all of our streams with just the webcam on our faces, but we were realizing that because it's the stormy season and the windy season, our streams kept cutting out and pausing a lot because it was having trouble keeping the audio and the video. And it's also just kind of nice for us to have you see something like what's on your screen right now, because we don't have to worry about holding something up to the screen and hoping you can see it. So let us know what you think about this new format. We might do this more often, or we might do, the pictures on the screen and then us as like a little icon on the top. We'll see. Oh, people are starting to show up now. I see people showing up on Twitch. All right. Well, now that people are slowly starting to show up for the night, I am going to go ahead and just pull up the slideshow rather than Streamlabs and leave the chat function in the capable hands of Kira and Ash whenever she gets on. How's Facebook looking right now?
One view.
Okay.
Yep, one view so far. There is definitely a lag on both though tonight.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We usually only have about a one word lag on Twitch and usually like a full sentence lag on Facebook, which is why we generally um, try to get people to go on Twitch instead. It's just a little bit easier to keep up with everyone. But lately, the last couple weeks, there's been a pretty substantial lag on Twitch and Facebook. We've just been having a lot of problems with our internet. The storms keep on knocking out the towers and making things difficult for people. So if we don't see your questions right away, we promise we will respond, whether we respond in the comments section or in the video itself. There's just unfortunately not a whole lot we can do about that right now.
Yep.
All right.
Looks like we have
Well,
one viewer on Facebook and
one on Twitch right now. All right. Well, it is after 8 right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get the full stream started now since, we've just been yammering for about 4 minutes straight. And as always, Although Twitch is, just stream only for right now, we're not big enough to have video stay there forever. If you are watching this on Twitch and you arrive late, don't worry about it. We keep our live streams on our Facebook page forever, and now there's also a video archives page on our website, which is firesphere.org, where you can also see all of the old streams. So you won't have to worry about that. I only post one at a time, whatever the current one is on the website, but Facebook you can find any of them.
This is so weird. Seeing it like so far behind from each other. It sounds so funky.
All right, well, on the odd chance that, just like last week, some new people show up to the stream, we're just going to do a quick little catch up of who we are, what we do, before we get into all of our updates. So, Firesphere, as you see on your screen, is an independent graphic novel series that is ongoing. We produce 3 volumes per year, and these are substantial volumes. They're like 130 to 160 pages, so it's a lot of work, but we make it happen really well. We work well together. Kara was the one who initially created the idea and the characters, most of the characters anyway, for Firesphere all the way back in 7th grade, right?
Yep.
And after that, it went from idea to full reality, which is where it is right now. We're currently working on volume 6, which is going to be out in August. And we generally put out the volumes in August, December, and April of every year, so you can count on them showing up then. The story follows a lot of dark fantasy and mythology elements. The girl on the far right with the blonde hair is Ams, and she's the daughter of Ra, the sun god of Egypt. And she's also been charged with being the guardian of the realms, which means that she not only has to look out for the Egyptian mythological realm, but she also has to make sure that every realm of mythology is safe. So she has to sit there and make sure, the Norse people are safe, Native Americans, Africans, Asian, everything is safe, which is a lot to have on one person's plate. So she tends to kind of slack a little bit because she's like, hey, I didn't choose this. You just kind of threw me in. Then on the left is Rue, who kind of becomes a fan favorite a lot. She is a forest elf. She has a lot more layers than people are aware of. Right now, you've mostly just seen her pretty happy go lucky and food loving and goofy, but there is a lot more to her than that. She is the primary assistant of Dr. Hyde, as in Jekyll and Hyde, so obviously, even though she's bouncy and silly, she is highly intelligent, or she wouldn't be able to work in that manner. And then Gabby, the girl in the middle with the orange hair, is the main protagonist of the entire story. She is a very strange, mysterious girl who wakes up at the beginning of Volume 1 in purgatory with no idea who she is, where she is, how she got there. And unlike a lot of other stories, that's actually unusual for Firesphere's purgatory. Most people are extremely aware of the fact that they're dead. They're pretty scared there because they don't know where they're going to go once the Reapers get a hold of them. She has no idea what's going on, and neither does anyone else. She shows up as never having existed at all. So there's a couple different linear stories going on in Firesphere. One is Gabby and her friend is trying to help her realize who and what she is, and the other is her helping her friends protect every mythological realm from Spectre, who is a destroyer of realms. So that's a nice little catch up for anyone who happens to be new on the stream. And if you are new, hello. We stream every single week on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are in Pennsylvania, so you have to kind of adjust your clocks accordingly. And we also host a Firesphere mythology trivia game once a month. We just had this month's last weekend and it was a lot of fun. We give out pretty nice prize packages to whoever wins, and it's not just Firesphere related. So if you ever read the books, you don't have to worry about that at all. It's any kind of mythology, and we have easy, normal, and advanced modes for people. So that's always kind of fun to look forward to. We have a lot of different topics we cover in our live streams. For example, tonight's is just a nice general update on what's going on in the Fire Sphere project so that everyone knows, kind of what's happening, who's invested in it. We also talk about things like character development and story arc, and Kara has done a stream before where she taught people how to shade and color a drawing. We're going to do ones like that where she teaches you how to draw, just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and I'll be doing more of those in the future if anybody wants to see them, um, or anybody that has interest in those. I will definitely be doing them in the future.
hmm I'm seeing a few more people show up now, so that's good. So that's just, our usual weekly letting the newbies know who we are kind of dealing.
Yep.
And once again, we do always host the live stream on Facebook, but we do advise that you go to Twitch because, I mean, not not tonight, unfortunately, but usually it doesn't lag quite as bad. So, one of the things we wanted to go over with you tonight is the fact that obviously the convention scene is different. It's not dead for 2020, it's just different. We can't exactly fill up giant convention halls with people because it's just not safe still. So, most conventions have taken to virtual, they're doing it online this year. There's a bunch of them doing it through Discord. There's a bunch of them doing it on Twitch. And some of them are just hosting it on their own individual websites. And there's even some brand new cons that are just showing up this year because they're realizing, hey, it's kind of cool to host it online. It's very different from your regular traditional convention scene. You do get a lot more people sometimes because it's more accessible to people who maybe don't live in your state or your country, or maybe they can't make it because they don't have a lot of money. But it's also a little bit strange because you have to sit there and hold up a camera the whole time instead of just showing people your table. But it is fun. We had a lot of fun at our last couple that we did. And on your screen right now, you'll see all of the upcoming conventions that we have right now. And I'll let Kara tell you a little bit about each of them.
Sure. I've been corresponding with a bunch of these for the past couple months, getting them set up and stuff. CouchCon, they have groups on Discord to keep us all updated on what's been going on. But CouchCon and DandyCon are next week, so we're gonna be doing two at once. Thank goodness it's a virtual con, so we can do that. So basically, CouchCon is going to be run just like how we did back in April for our very first virtual con, and we just basically are
Live streaming, kind of.
yeah, we have a live stream on Twitch, Discord, and Facebook, and those conventions plug us when we're about to go on, so we get like a bunch of people on our page looking at all the stuff that we sell, and that's basically like what all these are.
Yeah, one of the things that kind of sets them apart from a traditional convention is the fact that there isn't a strict set of rules apart from, like, don't be a douche to people pretty much. But I mean, you don't have to worry about convention hall rules. You can set your own hours. You can decide how you're corresponding with people. Some people for CouchCon are just going to be chatting on Discord and sending links through. But we've chosen to do maybe 2 hours on a live stream in the afternoon, then take like an hour's break, and then return for a third hour. That way, we're not here all day with nobody on the stream, but you guys get to still see us in person and, communicate with us as though we were, at each other's tables.
Yeah, basically the last one, um, I'm sure we'll get updates this coming week because it's next week when these are going to be happening, but they will plug us whenever we're about to either go live or just like who's going on that day. CouchCon is for 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. DandyCon is Saturday and Sunday.
What Want to tell them a little bit about each one, like what kind of convention they are, because it's a little bit
Couch,
difficult to tell from an icon.
yeah, CouchCon is a variety of everybody that had a anime or comic book convention, artist, anything that was canceled. Um, so that's going to be like a variety of like anything that you can imagine. DandyCon is an LGBTQ plus convention where I think it's mainly um, just creators selling. I don't think they
It's
have
not really like,
limits
yeah,
on what.
just anime or anything. It's just whatever you have. I've seen some people advertise just their regular indie comics and traditional comic book art styles. They've also seen anime and just everything. It's another variety one. It's just geared toward LGBT people because, sometimes you don't still feel entirely safe showing that stuff at a convention. Unfortunately, it's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be kind of nice for that. And what about Bookfest?
Bookfest is actually run by Central PA Fest of the Arts, but since this year it's not happening because PA State College holds State College in Pennsylvania holds the Festival of the Arts every year, and this year they are going virtual, and Bookfest is a part of it. This is held by the State College School Library, and they have it each year. And we just happen to get uh, oh, Mom said having a hard time hearing me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry
Okay.
about any audio stuff, guys. She's a little bit further away from the mic.
Okay. Let me see if that works. Yeah. So Bookfest is part of Central PA of the Arts, and they have all local comic book artists or authors in Penn State and not Penn State, but in the state of Pennsylvania. And we are going to be having a virtual convention this year for it. I'm going to be taking part of a drink and draw with a bunch of other local comic book artists on Zoom on July 9th from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it sounds like there's going to be a moderator telling us what to draw while we discuss what kind of products that we sell.
So it's almost like, what's it called? The quick draw type stuff.
Yeah, like the charity auction stuff that I did for Altoona and
Mm-hmm.
Steel City.
It's nice some of the virtual ones that are coming up with interesting ideas like that aren't just, oh, here, just stream your stuff and throw you to the wolves.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming everyone in the stream has assumed that Isekai-Con is obviously an anime centered one, but again, just like regular convention scene, it doesn't necessarily mean that's all that you can show there. You can show whatever you want, and we're kind of a fusion anyway, so.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to the Bookfest one because that is mostly it's gonna be mostly like us, like local comic book artists, which I'm looking forward to. It's gonna be kind of cool. And then the rest of the weekend, I think you just plug in what we sell. We tell everybody about what kind of book that we have or things that we're going to be selling.
Yeah, for anyone who wasn't present for our last virtual con, basically we just start up a live stream like we did for, Friday night. We set up a table in our living room full of whatever it is that we would normally sell at our convention table, and we just have one of us just sitting there, talking and answering people in the chat section while the other one holds up the camera and shows each thing on the table, lets you, see it, something again if you were looking at it, and you're able to buy things during the live stream either through PayPal or through our website, whichever works best for you. And you can even get commissions done. At one point, Kara grabbed her iPad and was just like, okay, what do you guys want to see? That's like a quick sketch. And people just did basically charades almost, and just really crazy ideas for drawings and stuff with her that she had to sketch out really quick. And it was like $10 for each of those goofy sketches. And people had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do for that, is the drink and draw. I don't have no idea what type of thing I'm going to be drinking.
Yeah.
Probably Smirnoff?
Probably.
Or Angry Orchard? What?
Got crappy beer in the fridge.
I'm not drinking beer.
But yeah, so that's what we have so far. We did sign up for a couple of more that reached out to us, but right now we're waiting for them to get back with us. You basically sign up on a little application and then wait for them to email you. So as we figure out what ones we're going to be a part of, we'll update you guys. And the day before each convention, we'll be letting you know what's going on, because obviously the ones that are on a Friday, we can't do our usual live stream. That will basically be our live stream for that Friday. So we'll be letting you know when we're going to be on the stream, so you don't show up at 8 o'clock going, wait, no one's here, because it already happened.
Yeah, and I think we just set a time that we're going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Because for both of them. So I think it's just a matter of just having something there so people can see your stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying we'll just let everyone know 24 hours in advance, so that if it's not at our usual stream time, they're not looking for us.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got that out of the way. Does anyone have any questions about any of our virtual conventions before we move on with the other updates? Give everything a second to catch up. All right. I've got the next slide ready to go, and if people have questions, we can just answer them as they show up in the chat section. So, for anyone who wasn't here the last couple of streams, the one before the second mythology trivia wasn't particularly long. We were just kind of doing a more relaxed stream. This one we can give a few more updates. During the second mythology trivia night, we had some people mentioning some plushie ideas that they'd like to see. We did mention it is a little bit easier if they have some kind of animal counterpart, but that's not required, of course. It can be whatever you want, and we'll just try to make it work, like the little Medusa up there. But here's some just basic sketches of ideas that we've had that we thought people might potentially enjoy. And a girl on the stream last weekend actually said it would be cool to see Hel or Hela from Norse mythology, and that would actually be like a really easy one to turn into a plushie design. We are trying to give everyone the opportunity to give us their feedback on what they would like to see by the middle of July. And then we want to start actually getting these in for prototyping, because once we, put it in with the lady who's going to be making these for us, you'll be able to actually see what they look like in real life. And we'll be able to move forward then with actually making the big batches. The reason we want to make sure everyone's really happy with this is we can make one of however many prototypes we want, but once it actually comes down to the orders, you can only get these things in bulk. You've got to get them in large batch quantities, so we need to make sure people are interested in them. Mm-hmm. So we are still accepting any ideas people have that they think would make some cute ideas. You won't necessarily have your idea turn into one, but if there's, a decent amount of people that are interested, it might happen. What would you like to say?
So I think we're alright. No one said anything about the volume, but okay. Um, yeah. So right now we are. This is from a different volume, but right now we're about. Um, I'm about finished with the sketching of the pages for volume 6. I think I'm about like 20 pages away from being finished on it.
Mhm.
Um, but it's really cool though. I'm really looking forward to it. And then, of course, volume 7 will be out in December. Um,
We're getting into the more gritty stuff now.
mhm.
And it's kind of interesting. What you're seeing on your screen right now is what I get. These are Kara's initial sketches for each page. This is what is given to me before I have a chance to ink over the sketches and color it and do backgrounds, and then it gets sent back to her again
Yep.
for the finalization and being put into the nice borders and everything.
Yep, this is the stuff that I just sketch out like every single day. And then just like give it to her. I tend to do 5 to 6 pages a day, do you think?
Something like
Something
that,
like
yeah.
that?
And we found that since we get them done every 4 months, if she can sketch out and I can color and shade 2 full pages every single day, we have no problem getting between 135 and 145 page books done in 4 months. And one of the important things, if you are looking into doing something like that where you know you're cracking them out really really quickly like that, is make sure that the entire story was already written out somewhere and all you're doing is just tweaking the dialogue boxes and everything. But that's coming along nicely, as you can see by what's on the screen right now. And then on the left there, actually there is some coloring and shading done on that left page already because that's becoming a t-shirt design.
The t-shirt and volume 6 cover.
Yeah, so the Medusa head is actually finished already, just not obviously in this picture. And her head specifically is going on a t-shirt. And she is not in the entire volume, but she is a very important part of the volume that we're working on right now. We're getting back into a little bit more Greek and Roman since we haven't done a whole lot of that yet.
Yep. And everybody's favorite little Hades is back in this one for like a little bit. Not too much, but
Yeah, we don't. All of the characters do return in Fire Stream. I mean, this is a long, ongoing series, so if you see someone show up in like 2 books and they disappear for a bit, chances are they'll come back eventually. We just don't want to just spend too much time in one spot, especially if there's no reason to. I mean, there's, taking consideration to what your fans want, and there's fan service, and you don't want to fall into that trap of fan service where all you're doing is what someone else wants you to do.
mm-hmm. And then of course everybody has seen these panels that have already like been caught up with like this volumes 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that.
Yeah, you saw those sketches, which is, like I said, what I end up getting from her every day. And then what I do, like if you look at that on the top, the second one from the left of Gabby with the sword, I do all that coloring and shading in the background, and Kara does the stuff like the fire warping around the weapon and the fire warping on the image of Apep and the big snake. So she does a lot of the special effects stuff.
I do a lot of the special effects. I do a lot of the panel
Construction, I guess, yeah. And adding
the finalizing of the shading and stuff that you do.
And the dialogue boxes.
Yep.
Because I can help her with actually writing out the dialogue, but it takes me eternity to get the little words in there.
Yeah,
So
because InDesign is not your friend.
No, I have not had enough time to get to know it properly yet. Something else that you're seeing on your screen right now that Kara kind of is in charge of the two of us is the designs for the animation, which we can give you an update on that. We are still working on the character designs for it right now. We are very soon going to have the equipment here for doing the recorded lines and everything, so that'll be good to go. The only thing that we're waiting on is we're just saving our pennies because animation software that's actually halfway decent, it's not cheap because it's a lifetime license. It's not like some of these other, software programs where you have it for a few months and then you have to update it constantly and pay for those updates. Like it's basically you pay for it once, and even when you're 87 years old, it's still yours no matter how much it's updated. You just use that same download, so it is expensive, but I mean it's worth the price. And we're going to be doing basically episode 1, the big pilot episode, completely ourselves, so that we don't have to compromise with anybody on anything that we want incorporated into it. And that's when we're going to get started on Kickstarter, seeing who's interested in helping us make the rest of the episodes into a reality. We're planning on maybe like 8 to 10 probably per season, but I mean we're not gonna box ourselves in. If one of them needs a little more, it needs more, and if one needs less, it needs less, just like the books.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then that top picture again, same thing. That's some of her ideas of basically what the animation is going to look like. It's still very clearly is the Fire Sphere style. It's just a little bit easier to work with when they're moving than all the hair strands and craziness we usually have going on.
Yeah, this is just the idea of like what the animation is gonna look like, or kind of similar to this. It was just like a idea to give everybody what to look out for, like
Yeah.
what it's gonna look like and that kind of stuff.
Yep. And then merch stuff. I mean, these are older designs, but they are still up there and available. We have put up a bunch of new designs in our store page on our website, which is just, the store page on firesphere.org. There is a ton of stuff. There's t-shirts, there's hoodies, there's pillowcases and pillows, there are coasters, there are phone cases for just about every Samsung or iPhone you can imagine. What else? There's a tumbler, a travel mug of Gabby fighting. There's posters. There's just the books, the ebooks. That's a good place if you prefer ebook to physical copies. You can get those on our store page now.
We can turn any panel into, like if you like a certain scene from one of the books, we can easily turn that into a shirt or whatever you'd like to see as well.
Yeah, that's not too hard.
One of our friends wants a hat.
Yeah.
So we have to try to figure out a hat design, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so we always have a bunch of interesting ideas on there. Pretty much every time we've finished a book, expect new merch to be in our store, because whenever I happen to see a page I think turned out really cool, like the second one in from the left up there, I just stick it on a shirt or something because I'm like, hey, people like it, it looks neat, why not? And if you have any, questions about any of the stuff, we can obviously talk to you guys about it, answer any questions you have. And something that's kind of nifty on our website, I actually created our website, we designed it together, and I created it, and I made sure that instead of just having a contact box for you guys, I also made sure there's actually a chat function and a forum. So you guys are free to come up with any forum posts you want about comic books, graphic novels, mythology, fantasy, whatever that, is somehow linked back to the stuff that we enjoy on our website. And then we've got the chat function so that if we happen to be on our website at the time that you're there and you have a question, you don't have to worry about waiting and waiting for us to email you back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah, journals. That's the other thing we have. Journals
and
are
posters.
Yeah, well, I said that already.
Oh.
Journals are easy. That's one of the easiest things besides poster, because it's a square basically, so any page can pretty much fit into the journal. That is one thing. just, be patient if you have either a commission piece of one of our characters you'd like to see, or if you would like, say that on a t-shirt or something, and you want it on a standard tee, which is more this style, rather than the graphic tee, which is more this style, because it will take us extra time to get rid of the background and stuff and make sure it actually looks right. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff on there. And I don't know, do you have anything else that you need to say?
I know at some point we want to do a D&D type style manual for Firesphere as well, so people can create their own god.
That's probably really far down the line, though, because that takes some time. But yeah, that's the other thing. There isn't really an image in the slideshow of this because it's in your own imaginations, but we do commissions as well, not just a Firesphere, of just about anything, as you'll see in our portfolio, which is labeled Gabby's Sketchbook on our website, that has at least a decent idea of every style of art that we do combined. So if you're like, oh, I want to see this character, but I want it in this style and not that style that they do, just be like, oh, the style that you have for that Batman picture or something, can you do this character? Or in Firesphere style, can you do this? We try to have multiple different styles available to people so that, you have more to choose from.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I know you want to do a tarot card.
Oracle, yeah. That's going to be a lot easier for me to pop out than the D&D book because those are long. Yeah. That's definitely going to take some time.
Yeah, the D&D book, I eventually want to make the little minis. Yeah. And all that stuff, but...
Yeah, and that was something else. We do have a guy that does 3D printed figurines for things like that. We just need to get into communication with him because we usually see him at Steel City Con and stuff, and obviously that got canceled for April, so we didn't see him then.
Yeah, I've already had people interested in buying the figures already, so...
Yeah, so we're going to be talking to him probably at some point in early August, and then we'll let you guys know what comes of that. So,
yep.
But anything else to update on, or are we pretty much okay?
I think we're okay. I don't see anybody else. I think everybody's having a hard time hearing us tonight.
Really?
Yeah, because no one's... I don't know.
Well, do you have anything else to say?
I think if nobody has any questions, I think we can wrap up. Is there anything... Is that all the slides?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So I think, that wraps up today's live. If there's no more questions or anything, I think we can just head off for tonight. I'm sorry if we're having any volume issues. So next week, just remember that we will be doing a bunch of lives at some point throughout the weekend because of the virtual conventions, and we'll also link those throughout the week next week to get everybody interested in them and stuff.
But yeah, this was just a slightly shorter one because, like we said, we did a lot last weekend with the mythology trivia and stuff, so we figured we'd just do kind of a relaxed stream this weekend where we just gave you some updates, which we did, and hopefully you enjoyed this kind of laid back one. Again, if you enjoy this format more, where it's not just us on the screen and it's our stuff instead, let us know, because we're just kind of trying some new things right now. And other than that, just, let us know any other merch ideas, especially any plushie ideas, again, because we're really trying to get that off the ground by no later than the middle of next month. And I guess we'll see everybody next weekend.
Yep, and I guess, when do you want to announce the next trivia date?
Oh, I have no idea yet.
We'll just figure that out. Okay. All right. We'll see everybody next week for the virtual con. So have a great night, everybody.